What is up,
Hey
ladies and
guys.
gentlemen? It is 2023, and Joe and myself are shredding social, as we will be for the near foreseeable future. For all 2023, you guys just got to come hang out with us. And our conversation today could not be more timely because community is key in 2023. And that's exactly what Joe and I are going to be talking about. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of it, Joe, how was your holidays? How was the new year? You were doing some traveling with family. How was it?
It was awesome, dude. It's always fun to be with family and celebrate the holidays, the new year. But dude, I'm pumped. This is 2023 is going to be the greatest year ever for us, for you, for every mortgage lender. We're gonna pull out of this crazy mess and we're gonna just go gangbusters. So I'm pumped.
All in.
How about you, dude? How was your Christmas and holidays and everything?
Craziness. We got so much snow. I literally telling you, I got to put more pictures because people are like, oh, looks like you guys got a couple inches. I'm like, we got feet of snow. It is literally like taller than our cars. So crazy snow here, but we had a good time, hung out with my kids' goal, of course, was to get to midnight. You know, they're 10 and 8 years old. They're like, we're going to make it to midnight. So, and like made it to midnight, and then 12:05, they were dead asleep. So,
man,
they, but I can't complain. So it was a very good time, but I'm excited because I actually had a coaching call about this. What started my entire mindset about community is key is I was on a coaching call for me and for some other people that I'm very close with. And we were talking about this, and they had surveyed over 1,000 people that are part of our community, part of our group. And these are all influencers, coaches, people like that. And they asked them what their focus was, and they said it's community. 83% of them said their focus is community. Yeah. And I'm like, Joe, like we have to talk. Like this is so good. And then, of course, you wrote an amazing article about it. So, and we're going to reference it right here. I'm going to bring it up on screen here in just a sec. But community is everything, Joe. But I think now more than ever, you mentioned the craziness that is going on within the mortgage community. Yeah. But community, for all of you listening, to build your business, community is key in this year.
It is. I mean, it has to be a big part of your overall strategy, right? The game has changed if you're a mortgage lender. And for every executive and marketing director out there, when you're looking at your 2023 planning, trying to help your originators grow their business, you have to be focused on growing their community. Their sphere of influence is how they get those loans. How are you going to do that in 2023? How is it going to be different from the lull of 2022? And that's what we're going to talk about today.
That's exactly what we're going to talk. But you mentioned that. I love that we throw in all our marketing people. You do have to focus on community because sometimes we're so focused on like marketing to an audience. Audience is so different. I've said this in the past. Audience is very, very different than community. Audience is who you're talking to. Community is who you're talking with.
That's right.
You have to be like engaging them as part of it. So we're going to throw your article up on here, Joe. And guys, you guys have to go take a look at this. This is over on LinkedIn, which I want to mention this too, because this was a very big part of my discussion in our coaching call this morning. LinkedIn is still very, very significant when it comes to a social media platform. And the fact that Joe and I are even referencing his article on this just shows that both him and I people always ask me, they're like, oh, Josh, you never use LinkedIn. I'm like, apparently you're not there because we use LinkedIn a lot. LinkedIn is still a very, very relevant social media platform.
I think we're actually live on LinkedIn right now.
We literally are live on LinkedIn right now. So people who think LinkedIn is like just this one, like, oh, no, it's not for me. There are a lot of people active on LinkedIn. As a matter of fact, they posted their biggest numbers when it came to viewership and new users ever. So there you go.
That's insane. Well, actually, I mean, that's a good point, a great starting point to talk about. You know, when we're looking at building community, we put together kind of 7 different steps of what you should be doing to build a community in 2023. And this is, again, great advice. If you're a marketing executive, you're a mortgage executive, these are the things you need to be talking about with your originators, with your sales team on how to do this. And if you're originator listening, hey, what's up? Welcome. Happy you're here. This is really great advice for you specifically as well. So,
yep.
But, you know, thinking about LinkedIn, and there are a lot of people who are not really huge fans of it. And we're also streaming live on Facebook as well. But if you think about it, Josh, like you need to identify as each individual originator, identify who's your target audience, right? Like, and that will help determine where you want to build this community. Right. So for those that are poo-pooing LinkedIn, go for it. Hate on it. That's fine. That's not what your target audience is. But but give me a reason why you don't want to be on LinkedIn, and then let's put you on a different platform. Right.
100%.
And I think that's where you need to identify who do you want to work with, and then where are they? Right. If you're talking about, educating young individuals about how to buy their first home, LinkedIn might not be your best place to be, right?
Definitely not.
Let's talk about TikTok. Let's talk about Instagram, right? And creating fun videos. But if you're looking at retirees looking to downsize, or maybe let's build your community on Facebook. If you're looking at working professionals that are building up and buying more homes, like moving up along the kind of food chain of newer homes and buying investment properties, you know what? LinkedIn might be a really great spot for you to focus and build your specific audience.
100%, dude. I think this in particular, these first two are literally the key of the key. Like, this is the master key. Being able to identify who you're trying to speak, like who you're trying to engage with, who your community is absolutely key. And then the right platform is everything. It's funny because we were on our discussion this morning. We were still talking about, Snapchat is still in the mix of things, which I personally, I'm not a big Snapchat fan, but there some of our community, they were like, yeah, we still actively use Snapchat and I was blown away, but they're having success with it. That just shows whatever your platform is may not be right for somebody else, but you may be able to niche in that one platform. And again, this one coach that again is part of our group, he's like, all my business comes from Snapchat. And I'm like, whoa, it just blew my mind. But again, his target audience, it perfectly fit what he was really selling and what he was talking to. So the right platform, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok is one of those that we still don't know what the heck's going to happen with TikTok.
Who knows? I mean, what's going to happen with the government and everything. But for the time being, it's cool.
It is still a usable platform for the time being. So whatever platform you decide to use, just pick one. And again, I've said this, master it first, get really, really good at it, get consistent with it, post the right content, start really creating that community. And then you can, of course, expand from there. But again, this is really something which leads us into our number 3, Joe. So you got to develop that content strategy, which Social Coach can help with brilliantly.
Well, so can Shred. So, I mean, here's the thing is you, once you've identified who you want to target and who you want to build this community with and where you want to do it, now you got to figure out what type of content do you need that's going to meet your audience's need to build that community, and what does that platform engage with. Right now, we're walking step by step through an article on LinkedIn, right? People like to read on LinkedIn. They also need to like to do videos or like short, pithy posts. That works really, really well on LinkedIn to get good engagement. Also pictures, a lot of people on LinkedIn think it needs to be all professional and nothing personal and very like tight knit like this. That's not true. Some of my best engaging posts, and Josh, I know this is the same for you too, but some of the best engaging posts that I've had are ones where it's just photos of me and other individuals in the industry, because that people like to like people, right? So like no matter what, that's the case. And that content strategy could be completely different for Instagram. Our Instagram strategy for Social Coach and me personally is very completely different than my LinkedIn strategy, right?
100%. And it's so funny that you talk about content strategy. I actually I was going through my desktop this morning of some of the images that we've like screen shared or clipped. And there's actually a gal who grew her LinkedIn following by sharing her TikToks on LinkedIn, which I was like, and people are like, some people of course are like, no, that's not the right platform, But she has a graphic that she shared on her LinkedIn page. She gained over 50,000 followers in like 2 months, Joe, on LinkedIn. That's crazy. And I'm just like, guys, like there's an audience for that. But like you said, just really develop that strategy, whatever that content or that content strategy is, dial it in and you'll crush it. Which number 4 is perfect, because as you're sharing this content, as that strategy comes into play, you can't just share your content and say, okay, I'm good, I'm set. Like if you're just posting and posting and posting, awesome. That's only part of it. You have to go engage with that community, Joe. You have to take the time, like this article. We're sharing this article. Go engage with it, like it, comment on it, share it. That is what's going to help you personally, because now if you go and like this and comment on it, Joe, you've now got Joe's attention. You're like, oh, hey, great article, Joe. Thank you for sharing this. Be meaningful in it. Don't just hit the like button and keep scrolling, hit the like button. Take a second to engage with your community. Say why you liked the article. Say how it affected you. Say what it meant to you. Take a second and really show people that it meant it. Don't just give the like or the thumbs up button. That's good and all, but take a second to really show them that you care about what they're posting.
Well, and you're right. You're absolutely right. You have to engage to show other people that you that you like what they're doing, what's going on with them. But I think, then the last point here really that I think is really salient is that it helps establish you as the industry expert and a thought leader, right? Years ago, when I was first graduated from college, one of the best advice my dad gave me was to become a thought leader in my space, wherever it is, just like become a thought leader in that. And as like a 21-year-old, that's like, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I'm going to be an industry expert. I'm going to be a thought leader in something I don't even know mortgage had a T in it, right? Like, I don't know what that means, right? But then, over time, as you build your knowledge and your experience, you're able to share your thoughts and opinions on other people's posts to solidify you as that authority.
Bingo.
And as you do that, people are going to see that you really know what you're talking about and want to come to you for advice when they are ready to buy a home or refinance or buy an investment property, wherever the case may be.
Dude, I'm so glad you hit this. And as we go on to this next point, I want to really, I've talked about on here, the platform. Oh my gosh, I always forget it. What's the platform that created Rooms? Why can't I think of it? Oh my gosh.
It's like the chat, the
chat
voice only.
Yeah. Why can't I do that? Nothing.
Nobody cares about it. This is what happened.
That's how dead it is. And that's why I can't even remember Clubhouse. Okay. I got it. So why I even bring Clubhouse up is because we established ourselves as the industry thought leader in that space. We were posting about it. I didn't know jack about it, Joe. I literally I was like you. I'm like, I don't know jack, but we were just there. We were doing our research. We were commenting. We were engaged with it. People were reaching out to us. So being a thought leader on different social platforms, engaging with your community will establish yourself as that leader. So, which literally leads into our next.
That's kind of the next point. And this is just a different part of your overall content strategy and how to engage more on a deeper level. Is that engagement is not just typing, grateful, thoughtful comments or engaging with your audience. It's about asking questions, getting those answers or answering them yourself, but in another post, right? So thinking about an ask me anything tutorial on Instagram, or going live on a platform like this and sharing your expertise. That's going to be a sense of community where people can engage with you live, not just on a comment basis or a DM, like giving them different ways to engage. When if we were to get any comments here, I wish we were. Maybe people are still on vacation or something, Josh, but, and we've done this in the past where we've gotten comments from people and we've put them live on the bottom here. And then we've talked about that individual and we've engaged with them. We've helped lifted up our audience to be part of the conversation, not just a reactive participant. And I think that's really what the point of this was.
Exactly. And that's maybe everybody is on vacation because we have a lot of people watching today. So I'm not sure they're just kind of sitting back. They're still recovering from the New Year's, Joe. They're like, whoa, I don't know if I can't be a keyboard warrior just yet. I don't want to put myself out there, but
if you're out there, comment on this. Please.
We'd love comment below. We'd love to highlight you. Love to hear your thoughts on this. But it really is. You have to have a sense, create that yourself. If you aren't the one leading the way, you can't expect other people to do it. So quick example, our Shred U, we have a community call. We have an AMA every Tuesday. We do a call for our Shred U community that people will say, hey, Dal had a great discussion a couple of weeks ago about how to do the green screen on Instagram. People saw our post of people knew, they're like, how the heck do you do that? We said, let us show you. We can walk you through it. So this next one, I'm really excited about, but I want to speak with a word of caution because people have heard me speak about this in the past. Collaborate with other industry professionals. I love this. but you have to make sure when it comes to collaborating with other industry professionals that it has to be mutually beneficial.
Yes.
Don't use people just to use them.
Oh, thank
Like,
you for saying that.
and you and I have seen it, Joe. And honestly, your community will see, they'll be like, man, like this isn't gelling well. This is definitely a one-way relationship. Make sure it's mutually beneficial to all parties involved when it comes to collaborating.
For sure. And I think what we're doing right now is a great
Yes.
example of collaboration. And we're both doing this. It doesn't have to be, a loan officer and a realtor. It can
Right.
be two loan officers from different companies.
Yeah.
That could be awesome, right? I mean, you can
Yep.
definitely do that. But thinking about ways that you can collaborate to help both parties and to grow your combined communities together, right?
You bet.
What is so awesome about collaborating, think about myself as a former LO. If I were an LO today, one of the biggest things I would be doing is going around and interviewing all different realtors from all the different communities that I serve, and asking them about what their favorite part of their community is, where their favorite street is, what their favorite taco joint is, and helping them build their own audience, their own community, while also solidifying myself as an expert and show that we work together, because you want that to be the strongest point that comes out of all this, is that you have people that you work with regularly, that you're helping somebody, you're giving something, and in return, you're also going to receive more than you've given.
Dude, I love it. Collaboration is key as well. I mean, that's a whole nother show that you and I can talk about, but really, like, find other industry professionals that are going to add value to both sides. And then this last one I think is awesome, being able to track your success, looking at sometimes I've been a negative proponent of this, because when we say measure your success, being able to track some of these things, we don't want you to follow, like tracking your followers. And that's why I love what Joe really titled this, is community is so much more important than followers. Do not engage your success, or do not measure your success this year, ladies and gentlemen, by the number of followers you are gaining. Like that is one thing that you will start literally getting into your own head. If you're worried about the likes, if you're worried about the amount of followers, that is something that will bring you down. There are other great metrics of success, Joe.
Yeah. Look at, I think the one way I always look at measuring success of my social media presence is, what's the overall outcome of what's happening, right? Is my business, am I getting more loans? Am I getting, is the content I'm putting out getting the engagement that I expected it to get? If not, why? Be introspective. Like, I thought this post was going to be awesome and it totally flopped. Right. And sometimes that happens. I'll tell you a quick story. I had, we were up in LA the other day, and it was my daughter's birthday, and we were at this like makeup store for her, and across the street was this building called The Real, like just together, right? And you guys have maybe heard of the app Be Real. It's like an instantaneous social media app where you like it tells you, hey, it's random time of day, it's time to post, and you just take a picture of whatever's going on. It's supposed to be real, right? So I thought, oh, this is so funny. I'll get a picture, or I'll do a reel, REEL, of my son doing his Be Real of the building, The Real. So this guy's doing his Be Real on a reel in front of The Real. And I thought, that's going to be really engaging, fun. It could potentially be a viral, reel. And it totally was not. It flopped. It was horrible. And maybe because it was Be Real and Instagram doesn't like that. Who knows? It wasn't great content. I thought it was hilarious. I was apparently the only one. Dude. But other content did great. And so measure the success of what went great, what didn't, and then continue to make the content that does really well.
To that point, Joe, this is why I'm such a huge proponent of stories and even reels. You and I mean, to what your example was, you and I have both spent like really good thought and put together great posts and video, and they have flopped hard. And then we have posts that we literally are just like, hey, what up? Like, don't even think about it. We do it, and they go and they do incredibly well. Yeah. This is why, like, measuring your success by the likes, like all of that, you have to take with a grain of sand, because you will have organic posts. You will have very quick things that you put no thought into that do really, really well. That just shows that your community, exactly what we're talking about here, loves the real. They love the real you. That's what they want to see more of. They love you. Your community wants to see more of you in a very real, authentic, organic, all those words. They want to see more of you. That's it, Joe.
That is it. And I will say one last thing.
Yeah.
Don't measure the success of your specific posts based on the engagement you get from that specific post, because some of my best business generating posts got very little engagement. Yep. So make sure you think about, like, okay, did I get a phone call and someone mentioned that, or did I get a DM or something like that? So measuring success is, looking at it from a holistic perspective.
It is.
Just keep on creating, guys. Like that's the end of the story. Just keep on creating.
Dude, I really want to reiterate what Joe just said. Just because you make a post and you don't see the likes or the views doesn't mean people are not seeing it. Both Joe and I have got DMs or emails or messages. They're like, oh, hey, I saw your post yesterday. And I'm like, what? I've never even know. Like, I didn't even know you were following me on that platform, let alone like you saw it. You never know who's going to see it. That's why you have to stay consistent, continue to show up on social media, and you will dominate in the year to come. Ladies and gentlemen, that every single Tuesday at noon Mountain Standard Time, 11. Oh no, damn it. I was so close.
Pacific, noon Mountain, 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Eastern, and at 9 a.m. Hawaiian time.
Holy crap. I can't believe you got Hawaiian time in there. You're the
I don't know. I don't even know if that's right. I think so. I think they're 3 hours behind us. I hope
Just show up. Every Tuesday here, you're going to find Joe and I shredding social, and we'll share. Next week, we're going to get into some specifics when it comes to building community, so make sure you guys show up here. As always, we appreciate you. We love you. We'll see you guys next week on Shredding Social.